October 24, 2024. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on a 2000 tick chart. This is what the chart looked like today. It had this rally, kind of this sell-off, so just kind of big bounce or big flash push up, back down, consolidation, sell-off, another leg up, kind of a consolidation, pretty much into the close. It wasn't, it was, for the better part, kind of stuck hitting this resistance here. And then you could say, I mean, I couldn't really find a good support down here, so I broke it up into a couple of trading ranges. And there was some economic data that came out today, which was the unemployment claims at 5:30 Pacific Standard, which is about right here. Looks like it might have caused just a small little jolt, but then right before the open, it just sold off. And then also the Flash PMI and Flash Services PMI, Manufacturing and Services, at 6:45 Pacific Standard, which is about right here. I mean, it's debatable whether it really did anything. In my opinion, it didn't really look like it moved it too much because from here to here is only 5 points and it didn't really cause a big jolt or anything. I took a total of one trade, which is early right here, and then didn't find too many setups. I think I found about maybe two more possible trades and I think like a couple of almost trades. Price action was, I would say, kind of smooth, but nothing set up quite right because I think the signal bars just weren't quite there. And there were some tempting setups, but again, the setup just wasn't that clean. So I'm going to get into the trades right now. So in the pre-market, there's this big rally, break of the green up channel, then flush down on this orange down channel. And it kind of gets really close to where I saw my first setup. There's a break of this orange down channel, tests the low, comes back up, and it actually makes one leg up, pull back, second leg up. And so what I thought I saw was a second entry short right here. So break of this orange down channel, it's already tested low, but there's two legs up, one, two. It didn't quite hit the EMA. So I thought, okay, it looks like there, even though it came down to here, depending on how you drew it, this is how I had it. I was thinking there's a possibility maybe it's something like this, and it's still wanting to test the lows. It's coming from the potential top of the range, and it has a decent signal bar. I like that it moved one tick up, then flushed down for strong close. Now, I initially had my trading range a little lower. I was thinking, okay, maybe it's here. There's enough room, just enough for a 1 point scalp. So I entered on this next candle. So after it was confirmed second entry short, I entered, it filled me, and then it just kind of chopped here. It pushes back up. Now I thought, okay, I'm probably going to lose on this trade. It wasn't quite the cleanest setup. And I did drag from this up to here, thinking, okay, maybe the trading range might actually be respected right here, in which case there really isn't enough room to scalp out. In that case, this might be a losing trade, but my stop is one tick above this guy. It makes a triple test, or not a triple test, a triple top, and I'm thinking, oh, I actually might survive this because this candle is encouraging. Pushes down. I haven't exited out yet, and finally I get my push and got my profit. I didn't go for a runner because after sitting through all this and realizing I don't know if this is actually going to happen, I should probably just see if I can get out if I can. So I stayed disciplined in the fact that my stop was here and I had an opportunity probably right here to get out break even, but I waited, watched it come down, close the low, and that kind of made me feel, okay, I should just sit tight and see what happens. Now, again, there's no runner because I felt like I was potentially hitting the bottom of the range. Even if I had it down here, then it could reverse back up. So why risk the runner just kind of getting stopped out prematurely? It just didn't feel quite right. Then prices kind of did flush down, makes a break. It's kind of this consolidation low. So first entry short, second entry short. This isn't a good signal bar. Starts moving up on the green up channel. You have first entry long, and then that's all you get. Technically, you have a second entry long, but it made a new high, so the count resets. Pushes down, first entry long, pullback. You have a second entry long here again. Not a good setup. Hops around, gets a little noisy. Pushes down, hits what I think is some kind of clear support here, and I thought there might have been a resistance here. It was a first entry short, second entry short, pushes up. I drew and I actually extended because I had a smaller trading range here, but then I thought, okay, actually there's some kind of respect being given to a resistance here potentially. So I thought, okay, it might be in a bigger two-tier trading range. So first entry long, that's all you get. Then it has a potential fail breakout. It's a first entry long here. And then all the way down here is where the second entry long is. But by then it feels like it's too late to consider like really two clean legs or even look for it going long because it pushed so strongly down. I need a higher low confirmation. Pushes up. You technically get a higher low here, but this is a nothing setup. This doesn't look clean. It's just kind of noisy. Nothing I really like there. I drew this and I had this yellow trend line coming down, not yellow, orange trend line coming down. I tried to find a channel, and originally I had it here and I thought it was a failed breakout, thinking consolidation, maybe a matching overshoot on this side, but when it looked like it moved once, twice, I thought it's a little ambiguous. It could just be going sideways. So not really looking for a break here and to go short. Plus, it never confirms. It just kind of stays down here, then continues downwards. So this orange down channel fits pretty well. I was debating whether this was really a breakout or if it was actually down here. It was a first entry short, push up. Technically, I have a second entry short. Unfortunately, the signal bar isn't very good, and it was in this green up channel. I did see it as one leg up, pull back, second leg up. Technically, two legs up, maybe a reversal coming back down. Maybe it's going to test the low of this orange down channel, but this orange down channel itself wasn't the cleanest because I still wasn't sure if it was maybe potentially something like this. So it's just kind of leave it alone, wait for a lower high. And lo and behold, I get a lower high right here. Now this is almost trade because it confirms the second entry short, new low, first entry short, pull back, second entry short, push up. I like that it moved one tick above and then flushed down really strongly. The problem with it is, even though it flushed down really strongly, I saw it as potentially part of just one leg. And, excuse me, it is kind of getting an EMA rejection, like a touch and push down. So I thought, okay, let's see what the follow-up bar is, because this could be a first entry long, potentially a second entry long, moving back up to test the high of this break of this green up channel. The following candle wasn't very encouraging. So this was possible trade. And when I see this, I'm thinking, maybe not. Maybe it was an almost trade. It is confirmed lower high, but this never broke below. So that made me not like it as much. Plus, this isn't a very clean bar. It's inside to this bar and it never broke below. So it's hard to really know if it's going to push up or continue down. And then afterwards, seeing the one tick down and push back up, I'm pretty happy. I didn't try to force a trade right here because the follow-up looks like it would have let you in and then push back up, and then I'd be nervously holding. Here, depending on where you kept your stop, in this case, I would have kept my stop one tick above here. It looks like it would have survived, but this just wasn't a clean setup, and I don't want to have to sit through something like that if I don't have to. And prices move down on this channel here. No clean entries that I could find. Potential break. This is just congested. This sideways price action is just candles side by side, almost the same size. Plus, as you can see, each candle that forms gets bigger and engulfs the previous one. So this one becomes an inside one. This one becomes an inside one to this guy. And it's just looking like it's spanning out. So it's hard to really know how prices are going to react just yet. So it's just telling me to sit tight. Prices then start reversing, moves up on this orange up channel, breaks, and this creates what I think is another almost trade. So I have this I have this blue down channel. There could be a break here. I was debating whether to actually drag it down to here to have no overshoot, but then there's no real confirmations up here. So I kind of liked it up here because it looked like it was one touch, two touch, and a breakout here. So it's pushing up. I'm thinking there could be a potential break of this, which is right here, and a test of this orange high. But I also have this new low. I have a first entry short, pullback, second entry short potential. Here confirms the second entry short, but the most immediate effect is there could be a test of this. So here, although it's kind of confirmed later and I marked it as a second entry short, I called it an almost trade because at this stage, it's really hard to know exactly what's going to happen. And so this is also pushing down that I didn't quite like. I mean, you'd have to jump on the engulfing. Then this closed right at the EMA, but the EMA itself isn't as important because it's starting to flatten out. So it kind of made me think, this is not the cleanest setup, because now after this, it clearly is a break below. The best thing to hope for is a failed second entry long, but you don't get that. So then prices continue moving down, and it's just chopping, kind of bottoms, starts reversing. You have a new low, first entry short. Technically, you get a second entry short here if you count it from here. But when this is very close like this, it looks like it was just kind of hovering. I actually like to group this together and say this is the first entry short here. Pushes and tests the high. Technically, you have a second entry short here now. Actually, you have a third entry because if you count it from here, first entry short, second entry short, third entry. The way I count it is like this is grouped together. First entry short, second entry short, but here I'm not even thinking of going short yet. Here you have a confirmed second entry short, so there's nothing here now. The best you can hope for is a lower high. And you kind of have a lower high here, but it isn't very clean because it's a doji and a bullish doji. And you do have a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. I saw this and I was debating whether there's a trade here. Now, I would have marked it if this closed higher up because it did tick one tick below and close here. But that's not good enough. I need, for something that doesn't break above, I need to close at the high. Or I needed to have broken above. Then I would have felt a little more confident. So no real trade here, but just something I noticed. Prices then start moving up, moves up on this yellow up channel. And as you can see here, it looks like it went sell off, consolidation, another sell off, and I'm just kind of holding. Apologize, I just had to take a phone call. Okay, so as I was saying, it kind of went up on this yellow up channel, broke, made a first entry long, pull back. There's a second entry long here. I was wondering about it, but in real time, when you see this candle, it's not very convincing. If this had closed a little bit better as a signal bar higher up, I would have considered, okay, one attempt down. It's probably going to make another attempt up to test this yellow up channel because this green down channel is one attempt down, push up, could make a second one to test the low. But what's dominating is the spike in a channel. So I'm putting more bias on testing of this yellow up channel. But the thing that's stopping me is this is a terrible looking signal bar. And of course, it works, but it's not very clean. You do get a lower high here and also fail second entry short, but this is just too tight. Technically the counts are there. This setup is technically there, but it doesn't mean it's a clean setup. And that's just what I just didn't quite like. Then prices move up, pushes down, hits this very, very tight consolidation. These candles are just very neutral and almost doji-ish. Break this orange down channel. Just low, comes back up. EMA is not acting as any assistance at all because previously it was here, but then you could see, looking back that the EMA is moving, but there are big spans of time where it's kind of not being respected at all by the price action because it's chopping above and below. So whenever something comes into it from above or below, I'm weary on setups like this. I need a kind of a clear trend, and otherwise the EMA shouldn't really be treated too much as a key entry point. So I saw as a first entry short. The second entry short coming down here broke through the EMA, but as I said, the EMA is just flat, so it doesn't really seem to be mattering that much. I'm just playing the channels now, so I'm seeing a break of this green, potential another push up. This trading range wasn't fully firmed up yet because I had a potential resistance up here, maybe a support down here because it looked like a touch, but there was a failed breakout here. So I'm expecting another push up to the highs to get a triple test. Then I trust it. So I'm hoping for a test of this green up channel. So it looks like it fails. So this is actually where I think is a possible trade. This green up channel is moving. It breaks, makes one attempt up right here, pushes back, and then this is the second attempt up. The second attempt up is it just gets smashed down rather quickly. I also saw this yellow down channel. It broke and it already tested the low. So the down channel potentially is played out, but it could be start of a correction of a one leg pullback and then a second leg down. So I like that it was a first entry long, second entry long, and then a second entry long has failed on the same candle that confirmed the second entry long. So I thought this is actually a possible trade with potential to move back down to here. So it's a strong push down, and I like that it engulfed this bar by one tick and then flushed down. It looks like it would have worked, but I wasn't on it. Break of this orange down channel, but this orange down channel isn't as it just feels like it's hitting some kind of resistance here. Made one attempt down. I'm not that confident it's going to come back down and test here. So I made a second attempt down. So now it actually creates a lower high. This lower high, it confirms the second entry short, new low, first entry short, second entry short, push up, come back down. This lower high isn't confirmed. It is lower than this, but the next candle, if it spikes up even higher, then this lower high is negated. So I need to see what happens on the next candle. I did see this orange down channel, one attempt down. This could be the start of the second attempt down, but second attempt down looked like bulls try to push it up, but then bears squashed it down. So it's a decent signal bar, but I want to see what happens on the next one. And by the time this one opens, closes, it's like too late to try to enter this trade. So it's kind of a hindsight possible trade if you're more skilled or you kind of saw what was happening better than I did. But here, I'm definitely not thinking of going short now because it looks like it's touching once, twice, fail breakout, 3 times, 4 times. So this is potentially a valid support, but not that I'm ready to take a long yet either. So I'm just curious to see what happens. So if it starts like technically new high, first entry long, second entry long. The problem with this second entry long, well, it's not confirmed yet, but it's also an inside bar, so nothing I feel confident about. I do like that it is a strong signal bar. I had wished that it moved one tick below and then push back up. That would give me, it would start shifting in the favor of taking a long trade. So if you took it, well, actually, you wouldn't have gotten filled unless you just took it at the highs. You may or may not have gotten filled, but then you'd be sitting on an inside bar, and that'd be very, that'd make me nervous. And likely this would have stopped you out. And as it stopped you out, it would have trapped you and then flushed back up. So it actually is a new high, first entry long, pullback. No second entry long here. The second entry long is actually made right here. And actually, I didn't mark it. I should have. The second entry long and potential triple or multiple test. So this is a potential trade. Unfortunately, the signal bar is a little iffy, but you do have the thing going for you is break of this orange down channel, one attempt down, second attempt down, tested the lows or at least matched it, and then it finally tested it here and it's pushing back up. So this is, you'd have to be pretty quick, but the candle here is only it's only a 7 tick candle. So even if you wanted to put it at the highs or even step it back, you would have been safe. Didn't mean to do that. You would have been safe. So this is actually a possible trade. I failed to didn't mark it the first time. And it starts pushing back up, hits the highs potentially, break of the green up channel, push up, one attempt up, second attempt up. Now I'm thinking the touch of the top of this trading range could be considered confirmed. Then it pushes out. So it could be a potential fail breakout. So I'm not thinking of going long or short now because this is a big candle. It gets a little noisy. I was hoping for a second entry long here, first entry long pullback, second entry long, but this is also getting very late in the day. You do get a second entry long here, but this is below the EMA. EMA is starting to show some kind of like bullish move, but then I'm uh, not that hot on the idea of taking a long here. Would have worked, but then you're also entering the last 10 minutes of the day where it gets super choppy and super noisy. So overall was kind of an interesting day. There was a lot, this big span of time. There's about 2 hours of nothing really clean setting up. A couple of trades here that would have been worth it. And then I took one trade here, and then these are some almost trades in between. So the volume is a little low. I mean, it's picking up, but it's not that exciting today. And it looked like it was just kind of like almost like an inverse head and shoulders, like head, shoulder here. You would need this one to kind of push back up, then you would have an inverse head and shoulders. But unfortunately, that doesn't quite set up. So yeah, it was an interesting day. I'm just going to walk away and be happy with my one positive trade. And then, especially considering the last few weeks have been very slow trading. And I'm hoping that after the November elections, things will pick up because market will feel a little more settled. And there's another FOMC meeting coming up by then, or rate decision. So hopefully that was helpful.